Yes. Unaccustomed as I am to long speeches, I'd just like to say a few words. And to be fair, that's how I thought I was going to start this speech. But having wrote the full draft version and read it out to Jackie, Jackie's comments were, best to just shut your gob and pass it on to the next person. Regardless, now I pressed on. I spoke to Rob and said, what do you think, Rob? Rob, my best mate, he reminded me that the last time I did a speech like this, I was actually the best man at his wedding. And following that speech, the new mother-in-law wouldn't speak to me for the next 3 years. And to be fair, the marriage actually ended in disaster. So, moving on. Joy will no doubt not be speaking to me after this little soiree.
I'll say no.
Anyway, luckily everything was safe because about 4 weeks ago, my lovely daughter Deborah bought me this book, and it's entitled Speech and Duties of the Father of the Bride. So what I did is I went through it and I picked out a few little passages that I'd perhaps like to read to everybody. And it says, thanks to everybody. It is the tradition for the father of the bride to make a short, informal speech. Don't panic, simply stand and thank everybody for attending the most expensive party you'll ever pay for. Remind everybody where the bar is, while firmly stating that the chequebook is now well and truly closed. It may be a sticky subject, but we do have to mention the sanctimony of marriage. Pause before remembering at least one or two ending expensive separations, Rob. Just hope you're one of the lucky ones and you don't have to suffer the ignominy of taking your precious daughter back. It then goes on to say there's a chapter in here that talks about the bride. At least be thankful if she's not pregnant. Down the aisle. And no one screamed, stop right there, when the register asked if there was anyone present with any reason as to why the happy couple shouldn't wed. You'll need to say how proud you are of her achievements. But at that I thought, I'm going to put the book down for a moment and I'm going to speak from my heart. Okay? Deborah, you are one of my greatest treasures. It has been a fantastic experience and a real privilege to be your father. We've shared good times and we've shared bad times. We've laughed and we've cried as I've seen you grow from a tiny baby into the beautiful bride which you are today. It was a real honour for me to walk you down the aisle and place you on your final X marks the spot next to your new husband Jason. Always remember, Deborah, I love you. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world or what path your life takes you, I will always be right here. Okay, that's a topic bit done. Yeah, we have to talk a little bit about the groom. In the book, it just says the groom will be nervous, so be gentle. Be kind. Just welcome him up into the family. Welcome him up into the family. He's been up my daughter for the last 12 years. And let's be fair, I don't even want to talk where the best man's been. It then says, open your arms and welcome him into the bosom of the family. Bosom of the family. I've been trying to get him off his mummy's titty for as long as Honestly though, I can't say how happy I am. And what a relief it is that Jason's finally married Deborah. It was a close run thing at times. He even tried to give her back a few years ago. It was like, whoa! Cost me a fair few quid, I can tell you. But I finally convinced him it's better to be in the saddle than walking around the prairie lonely. A little bit about family. And here really again I start to talk a little bit about my feelings. All of you that know me will understand when I say my own wife Jackie is my foundation. She stood beside me for the last 29 years, and for me there is nothing more important than family. Now I've got to be a bit careful here, just in case he turns out to be an axe murderer, and I'm thinking Friday the 13th. Alright? But for the past 12 years, I've considered Jason as part of that family. So thank you, Jason, for marrying my daughter. I feel a real financial burden has been lifted and my soul soars. As I've said before, she is a real treasure. You have a lovely bride. Treat her well, and I'm sure she will walk beside you for the rest of your life. Finally, I'd like to end with one of my favourite poems. It's by Guillaume Apollinaire, and in a way it sums up every parent's hopes and aspirations for their children, and particularly for you, Jason and Deborah Pearce, as you take your first tentative flight into marriage life. Come to the edge, we said. We can't, we are afraid. Come to the edge. We can't, we will fall. Come to the edge. And they came, and we pushed, and they flew.